it's me, Renee. I'm back. And today, as you can see from the title, this is simply kind of a catch up what I read recently, what I'm currently reading, and what I plan to read soon. And yeah, as always, my TBRs, take them with a grain of salt. Yeah. So this weekend, I finished both these books, library books that I had for over a month. So yeah, happy to have finished them. So it's the Vineyard Secrets, or Vingårdssamlet by Christian Harmon. And it is, let me just figure out what's called in English. The Sweetness of Forgetting by Christian Harmon. So yeah, both by same author. Quick little thoughts. I would say like this is the better of the two. I feel like this one, it kind of made me think about all the choices that people make, and that yeah, I kind of feel like, I suppose in a way, keywords for this book is kind of choices. Like choices are very important in this one. Though I suppose in a way, yeah, choices are important in every story, but this one kind of at least makes me think much more about choices and how important they are. But I was also kind of like a bit mad about some characters because they kind of thought that everyone had to think the same as them. Like, no, not everyone is gonna come to the same conclusion and kind of discover the same thing at the same time. Yes, of course, war is bad, but like, I suppose this might seem mad to say out loud and stuff, but I can kind of understand how in the beginning of war uh, you might be led on by propaganda that you might think that, okay, if you just stay still in the boat, nothing will happen. I suppose something along those lines was the same thing kind of happened in this book, because they kind of thought, okay, I'm not gonna make resistance. I'm just gonna do what they say, and then everything will be all right. We know that they didn't happen, but yeah, I can kind of understand why they thought that way, really. At least back in those days. I mean, now we know better. I suppose, do we know better? Do humans ever really evolve and know better than we knew before? I'm not sure, but maybe. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but I enjoy them both in different ways. Though yeah, I highly enjoyed this one. This one was a book. But now I've read them, and yeah, and now I can say I've read 3 books by Christian Harmel. I think I might read more of her in the future, though I'm not sure. And yeah, I like both of these books have like praise from other people who say like Christian Harmel, an author who writes a book that stays with me for years, for days afterwards. And like for me, she stays with me, but I wouldn't say I'm thinking about her that much. I suppose it depends on your taste and stuff. But I would say that she writes good. I would say that. That's not wrong. And then I also started Difficult Woman, A History of Feminism in 10 Fights. So yeah, had it for over a year now and had a few TBRs. But yeah, I've started for real now. I've gotten like uh, 43 pages into it, so a little bit into it. It's, as you might imagine, well, yeah, it's a feminist book written from the UK perspective, which yeah, it's a good book so far. I kind of yeah, it's making me think and kind of giving me thoughts that I didn't have before. Thoughts I didn't have before. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of I'm learning stuff, which is a good thing for nonfiction to have. But it's also written in a good way that I'm wanting to read more. Like if a nonfiction book is just kind of just facts, it's just kind of dry. Like even with nonfiction, you still have to be able to tell the story in a way, and yeah, it's written in a good, easily read way, I would say. And then I just started The Marvelers by Donnelly Clayton. So yeah, I suppose it's kind of funny, but yeah, this weekend, both on Saturday and Sunday, there were these reading sprints which I participated in, from the word node, or Margaret over word node, and then Brianna at 4 books and a books and 4 prose. So I did, yeah, on Sunday and Saturday. Uh, Saturday I kind of more or less finished one book. You know what? Give me a moment. Yes. So yeah, I participated in reading sprints both on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday was a bit more all over the place, so I just kind of switched with different books and whatnot. On Saturday, sorry, on Sunday that happened. On Saturday, I finished this book, Sophie and Berg Mysteria. It's a arc, and as you might have guessed, it's a Norwegian book. It's a cozy crime. Though I suppose it's not cozy. I suppose how do you define a cozy crime? I'm not quite sure how you define it because yeah, I don't read lots of crimes. I would say I read mostly historical crimes, but yeah, I would say maybe it's a cozy crime. Well, I suppose because okay, so the publisher has described this feel good crime, which I'm still kind of thinking, is it feel good? But that's so suppose in the same way, it's not like the book includes a lot of torture, so in that way it's feel good. And like some elements of the book is kind of feel good, like so yeah. So I suppose why should I talk that much about this book? It's a Norwegian book, it's not out yet in other languages, but it might be in the future, and I have read it, so yeah. But yeah, okay, so the main kind of idea is that there's this guy Edgar, and he has a let's say grandchild. Well, yeah, grandchild. He has a grandson, Elliot, and Elliot uh, has some health issues. He's in a wheelchair, and Edgar he has like diabetes, so he has to, and he's 80, so he lives in a old people's home. So Elliot kind of visits his dad, no, granddad, more or less every day in the old people's home. Like his friends is his granddad, and they get his granddad's friends at the old people's home. And then in the very beginning, someone stood, and it kind of looks suspicious. So these two people start to investigate. So yeah, it's kind of a quirky, I suppose, in a way, investigate duo there. I would say like it's quite fun here and there, a bit funny here and there. So I suppose that one kind of makes it feel good. So like I'm not gonna say much about it, but like the reason that the murderer killed all of these two people kind of is not really feel good. I suppose kind of is a big like hot topic or ethical dilemma idea. But I would say maybe I wouldn't say it's not feel good, but I suppose it's kind of feel good. And also I suppose because of stuff at the beginning I said that like is it cozy? I would say maybe it's cozy in some ways, but like in other ways it's kind of because there's several people who are dying and like I mean every now and then you have like a page from the point of view of the murderer. So like you have the murderer thinking like why did that person not die and I should kill people more careful better and so I suppose that way it's kind of creepy. But yeah, all in all, I would say it's quite a good book. So I suppose if you're reading Norwegian, you can check that was out, and if not, fun to see if it gets um, lots of more attention in the future and ends up on a different languages. Might happen. I mean, Norwegian have lots of Norway has lots of mystery authors who are very big in abroad. So yeah, I finished this one and enjoyed it quite a lot. Then yeah, I also started the Marvelous. I started with like one chapter into it. I started on Sundays. Yeah, I got a few chapters in, a few pages into it on Sunday, and I read a bit more in it each day. And so far, I'm quite enjoying it. Um, it's a middle grade fantasy series. I wouldn't say it's a series. Might be some. I think it's a series. Anyway, and so like the world is quite big. So right now I'm kind of like, okay, so it's a world with lots of things. I'm kind of a bit confused. I suppose as you might be sometimes in the beginning of fantasy books. But I'm also like, I suppose I'm also marveled and enjoying it so far. So yeah, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. And then we have kind of my book on the go. So like the book I have in my purse. I used to do lots of audiobooks, and lately like I hadn't really had working earphones, so I kind of need to buy new ones. But yeah, so far at the moment I'm just kind of having a physical book in my purse. And at the moment, it's Hood Feminism, Notes from the Woman White Feminist Forgot by Mickey Kendall. This has been on my radar for quite a while. I've had it owned for 2 years, 1 year, something like that. So yeah, I decided to pick it up uh, a few days ago and very much enjoying it. I'm like I am 61 pages into it, and it's not like a big book. It's a book like under like 250 pages. So yeah, it kind of gives me insight into how it is to be black, what black feminism means, well, hood feminism means in the United States, and how being black and a woman and white woman quite different stuff. Like yeah, it's yeah, kind of making me think about lots of things I didn't really think about or know before reading this. So yeah, I would say quite an interesting book, really. Though sometimes I feel like it kind of gives them like I suppose it's kind of one of those things that you don't really know who your audience is when you're writing the book, or maybe you're just kind of thinking like the audience is this. But like sometimes I feel like I'm reading it and it says like stuff like everybody knows that the crime rate in blah blah, and then as we all have learned in school, we all learn in school and this, and I'm like, I didn't learn any of these stuff. So I suppose in those ways it's kind of like I suppose probably most aimed at feminists in the U.S. or like white feminists in the U.S. or maybe what black feminists in the U.S. So for me, a feminist in Norway, like I know that stuff in the US is not amazing, but like I have not grown up there, so I don't know all the stuff in the US. But I suppose it does kind of give me insight by this book. So yeah, and and then I also as usual I kind of always have a book on my nightstand. Well, a book. I have several books, but like one book that I'm reading lately this last week or so. I'm kind of like I've been so tired, so I've been more or less just gone like straight to bed and then to sleep. So I haven't really read that much before sleeping. But I do have a book that I might read if I'm in a mood before going to bed. That is The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell. This is a British fantasy series. Yeah, fantasy series. It's a first-one trilogy. It's urban fantasy. And it's all about Chance. She wants to be an actress. She's listening to be an actress, and she's not getting a job. And then she discovers quite soon. So I'm not quite sure if I've read like 40 pages into it, but I haven't really gone into like the hook or like the beginning where like things really take off yet. But like from the summary, I don't know that she discovers that she is a medium. She can talk to the dead. There's something in her family that's kind of it's a legacy thing in her family. So yeah, it's urban fantasy comedy, I would say. So far, it's quite fun. Kind of, yeah, I suppose a cheap way of describing it, but I would say like it kind of gives me Bridget Jones vibes. So like with fantasy elements because it's a woman going back to town, trying to get her life together or get some work, and she's in her 40s, I suppose 40s in the 30s, she's 35, I think, 36, around there. So yeah, I am enjoying it. I just yeah haven't focused on it so much. And then yeah, I also have another library book that I haven't finished, which is Ugler I mosen og 198 norske uttrykk som må reddes. So this is all about Norwegian sayings and like yeah, so it's just kind of different sayings. So first you just have the saying, and then you have like the how it's used, what it means, and how it's like the etymology where it came from. And so yeah, for me as a language nerd, I'm quite enjoying it. I think I might read more into today. It's a library book, so I should return it soon because yeah, most of the library books I have at the moment once I got like in February, so I should return them soon. As yeah, sometimes I kind of forget about the library books, and then I kind of yeah, I should read them. I really should. So yeah, focusing on this one, I think I might. So yeah, and then I started this one, Generation Wonder, a new age of heroes. I've said so. It's a YA anthology with superheroes. So I started slightly on audiobook, and I am enjoying it. I was kind of not really in the mood for it when I started yesterday, the day before yesterday. Anyway, but I am kind of enjoying it. So yeah, that's kind of like what I have read and what I'm reading. And then I have two books that I have not started, but I kind of want to start soon. So we have Hamilton's Battalion. Oh yes, this has been my TBR for February as well. I don't know, I kind of want to read it soon. So and it's all female authors. I feel like kind of some. I suppose you don't really have to read more romance just in February, but yeah, I want to read it for March. Well, now for the month ends. So yeah, because we have 1 week left in March. And then I have A Clash of Steel, which is a Treasure Island remix by C.B. Lee. And yeah, it's a retelling of Treasure Island. And yeah, I just very much want to get to it. I haven't started it yet, but I kind of plan to, want to. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, that's kind of my recent reads and last reads. And you know what? Give me a moment. I almost forgot that I just finished A Perilous Undertaking by Deanna Rayburn. So I started this sometime last week and I finished it yesterday. Enjoyed it very much. It's the second book in the Veronica's Beautiful book series. And yeah, this one quite had I really enjoyed mystery in it. And honestly, at least to me, the murderer, because of course not always, but at least in this book it's a murder mystery. And the murderer in this one uh, is quite shocking, surprising, at least it was to me. And I'm kind of enjoying the different characters and whatnot in this one. And yeah, very much enjoying the series. So yeah, I read the first one last year, and then now I read the second one. So yeah, having read the first two, I can definitely say it's a new favorite series. I already have the third one, so I'm gonna join that one soon. I think maybe for the end of March. Not sure, but yeah, read this one recently and highly enjoyed it. So yeah, if you're in the mood for a historical mystery, check this one out. And yeah, that's, my dear friends, is today's video. And yeah, as always, if you have thoughts on the books I've talked about, if you have read any cool books lately, if you have books you want to talk about that's starting soon, please talk to me in the comments. And bye!